Merci Marco. Merci. Bonjour tout le monde. C'est incroyable d'être ici sur la côte de la belle baie de baie de Chaleur, dans la région Chaleur, à Vert ici. It's great to be as well in Mi'kmaq territory, and as you know, I live in Wolastoqey territory. We had an opening this morning from Marie, which was wonderful. We always say we are on unsurrendered territory wherever we are, but we have to start talking about what that means in terms of what our party will be advocating, and we need to be sitting down with First Nations, Indigenous people to figure out exactly how we put that sentiment into real policy and then real action. In this last election, we had Robert Crisco from Papineau First Nation. Robert's here. You want to stand, Robert? Thank you, Robert. And Junior Denny. Okay, Junior Denny, a Mi'kmaq who ran in Miramichi from Eel Ground First Nation. So there's work to be done there. Quelle équipe, hein? Quelle équipe. Est-ce qu'il est possible pour les candidats de lever ici? Pouvez-vous lever? S'il vous plaît, can all the candidates stand up from the last election? Just stand up. Et aussi les bénévoles, all the volunteers, les bénévoles qui aidaient les candidats dans la dernière élection. Les bénévoles, the volunteers, stand up, please. Merci beaucoup. Thank you very much. And finally, les organisateurs locaux pour cette rencontre, pour cet congrès annuel. You're here? Jean? Les autres? Catherine? Et puis les organisateurs centrales pour le Congrès mondial, the central organizers for the convention. Could you stand up as well, please? On the committee, the organizing committee. Merci beaucoup. You know, 10 years ago, in November, this party was founded. 10 years ago, we were a new party with no seats, nowhere in the polls, no staff, no money, and an election 18 months away. Aujourd'hui, nous avons 3 sièges. C'est bon. Les sondages révèlent un appui 2 chiffres maintenant. Notre statut de tiers-parti est bien ici. Nous avons un directeur exécutif formidable et tout en exploit. Grâce à vous. Merci beaucoup. From the bottom of my heart. I forgot, there's an election maybe 18 months away as well, and we don't have very much money. Tout ça change. But we're going to work on that. As Greens, we know that by working together, we can change New Brunswick for the better. That's something so many people have lost. The idea that by working together, we can make things better. So many people have lost that sense. And that's one of the reasons our party and our candidates give people hope. That we're committed to doing this and we believe it in our hearts and our souls that we can make things better in this province, working together with people in every corner of New Brunswick. not perpetuate the status quo, which, as my colleagues Kevin and Megan in the legislature have come to see, is what exactly the other parties are all about, the status quo. It's their goal, really, to get power, hold on to power, and keep on keeping on. But we know we've got to change the system so that everyone has the means to live a fulfilling life in our province while living in the means of the planet to sustain us. And I think New Brunswickers are ready for this. Et si nous tournons notre regard de l'autre côté du pont, vers l'île de Prince-Édouard, nous voyons Peter Bevan Baker et les Verts de l'île sur le point de former le gouvernement le 23 avril. C'est incroyable. Les vents des maritimes apportent des changements sur la scène canadienne, bien sûr. It's very exciting times. But these are also anxious times for so many people. Insecurity about what the future will hold, what the future will bring, is widespread among the people in our province. And there are dark forces playing with this, playing to this insecurity, to serve the self-interest of the privileged, to serve the self-interest of the powerful, and exploiting the fears of the fearful. And we have to stand up and say no to that. But there are consequences of this, and one of the consequences is our society has become more divided than it has been in some time. You just look at the language tensions among Francophones and Anglophones, fueled by the rise of the People's Alliance, or the widespread alienation of rural New Brunswickers, or the deep cynicism that citizens now harbor about politics and politicians. There's even a serious loss in fundamental faith in the power of functional democracy. The chilling part of this for me not that long ago was at a networking meeting organized by Frank McKenna on October the 29th, which was widely covered in our media, for expat New Brunswickers, business people in particular in Toronto, that included some elites from New Brunswick who were flown in for the occasion. And Frank McKenna said, the current political gridlock can't solve the province's problems, but you can, speaking to the captains of industry now working out of Ontario. Chilling. Chilling. To dismiss our democratic system as we were working to try and form a minority government out of the election results. Chilling. The politics of division, the politics of individualism, and the politics of partisan self-interest have really acted to undermine any sense of common purpose among our people of this province. And as I said, damage the belief that by working together we can change things for the better. So what do? You get cynicism, you get alienation, you get tribalism, you get intolerance, despair, frustration, and anger. More than anything else, as Greens, we must create a sense of common purpose, of a common project, a sense that we belong to something bigger than ourselves, bigger than the group we identify with, that we belong to a society in this province where we can make common cause. Comme Vert, nous nous réapproprions la politique et la reprenons des mains de ceux qui s'en sont emparés. Nous proposons une vision de société dans laquelle chacun a les moyens de vivre une vie épanouissante dans le respect de ce que la planète peut soutenir. This vision is rooted in clear principles that the party holds. It's built on the foundation of our values that we share with most New Brunswickers. In these principles of living within our financial and ecological means, of self-reliance and local autonomy, of social justice and active, engaged citizenship, of self-determination, and of a culture of peace. It's these principles that resonate with so many that we must always put out front when we put our face to the public. It is the values underlying these that we share with most New Brunswickers, values of compassion and respect, of a sharing and cooperation, of community and belonging, of a shared connection to the land and the living world around us that draws people to support our candidates, because these values fundamentally are shared values, yet the dominant society, the pundits, the media, so many other politicians, the captains of industry tell us that's not how, those aren't the values that underlie society. We're a society of competition, a society of self-interested individuals, a society of bonjour Aube. Voilà Aube, the newest green. Je m'excuse. Blaine Higgs wants to treat us like customers. Can you imagine? But we know the relationship between businesses and customers is a commercial relationship. The relationship between a government and citizens is necessarily a moral one. And that's how I and my colleagues in the Legislative Assembly try to conduct ourselves every day that we're there, which is not that many days these days. Les jeunes du Nouveau-Brunswick qui ont participé à la grève mondiale pour le climat revendiquent un changement de système. Ils ont raison. Because the big issues require system change. To end poverty, to reverse growing inequality, to heal the widening gulf in our province between rural and urban New Brunswick, to end our dependence on fossil fuels as we fight the climate breakdown we're facing, and to reverse the downward spiral of the living world that surrounds us as our forests are leveled and we spray them with glyphosate. We must make far-reaching and unprecedented changes, both in our society and in our economy. But the seeds of doing that live in our cultures, Acadian, Anglophone, First Nation, and in the values that we share as New Brunswickers. And that's why I believe that so many New Brunswickers are ready for change. But that change has to be based on and will only be supported if we earn the trust of all New Brunswickers. Because frankly, it's a relationship that we need to build as a party with the people of this province. It's what our candidates learn at the door. Those who are elective learned, of course, that it's all about the kind of relationship you can build with the people in your riding, one-on-one, face-to-face. Toutefois, les politiques susceptibles d'apporter des changements de cette ampleur doivent être éclairées par les principes du parti et par les valeurs que nous partageons avec les Néo-Brunswickois et Néo-Brunswickoises. You know, government has become regarded as an external force that does things to us, so this is not an easy thing to erase. And our message always has to be that as a party, and when we form government, there will be no sunlight between the citizens and a green government in New Brunswick. A manifestation of this in a way in my own riding during the campaign, and it's continued since, is that people have a Green Party bumper sticker really mainly says, David Kuhn works for me. Janice has one on our car. She won't take it off. So does Teon have one on her car. All of my staff, I come to think of it, have that on their car. But it's a sentiment that we need to expand around the province, that Greens truly work for the common good of all. That's the sentiment that's been running through PEI from tip to tip in that island that could see the PEI Greens form the first Green government in this country. Yeah. You know, politics, policies, and all of that are important. Platforms are important, and people need to know when they want to go look for it, what the details are of what we would do, and many of us love doing that kind of work on policies. But truly, it's the notion that New Brunswickers can trust us to work for the common good in the public interest that will win the day. It's what we need New Brunswickers to recognize and understand, from Lac Baker to Alma, from Grand Manan to Miscou, that the Greens will work for them and with them to build a viable future for New Brunswick here at home. Merci beaucoup. Thank you very much. Au revoir. Merci beaucoup. Thank you very much.